Hi guys, it's Claire Matara here. I'm on the 24th of February 2021, and I want to read something about the importance of Meher Baba's form from this little book, Rustom Falahati, a real little treasure book, and I've got a lot out of it already. So anyway, I'm reading a little bit to start off with, and then a few things to discuss. I took time spending whatever I could around Erich Meher Baba's right-hand disciple. This is after Baba has already dropped the body. During my time as a resident there, I lived for quite a while in the trust compound itself. This gave me a great opportunity to see Erich when he came into the trust office 3 days a week. Erich would be busy with trust work in the morning, but I would make it a point to attend to tea whenever I could. As I've said before, other residents who worked in the trust office would congregate around Erich's little table on the back veranda, and the atmosphere was informal, relaxed, and intimate. Residents from Meherazad and Meherabad would also try to stop by for tea if they could as well. Gary Kleiner, a long-time resident, would almost always come by. Gary enjoyed teasing Erich by saying the most outrageous things in an effort to provoke Erich into saying something significant. He would do his best to argue with Erich, to engage him in a bout of intellectual gymnastics. He would try to talk Erich into a corner, and Erich would always escape with ease. Things were never dull when Gary was around. He was by nature gregarious, even flamboyant, and I think he went out of his way to accentuate this when he was around Erich in an effort to amuse him. Erich seemed to enjoy Gary's mischievous and humorous nature, and for the most part, so did the other residents. Gary seemed to feel that most of the time, Erich just gave out the party line when he was talking to pilgrims, and Gary was determined to somehow get Erich to reveal the real secrets in these less public settings. To this end, Gary would often ask questions or make statements that most of us found outrageous, but Erich would generally just laugh, knowing what Gary was up to. It was all just a part of everyday fabric of life as a resident. But I remember one occasion when it seemed to me that Erich spoke very forcefully and quite seriously, as if he was trying to drive a point home. A point that could not be taken lightly. Gary started off in his typical manner. Erich, Baba often said that he is not the physical form, that he is not the physical body. He has repeatedly said that he is infinite consciousness, yet the Mandali encourage everyone to hold onto the form of Baba, to remember Baba as we see him in his physical body. Wouldn't it be better if I pursued the infinite consciousness? If I focused and meditated on the infinite aspect of Baba, wouldn't that be a superior path to one of clinging to his form, which Baba himself said is not his reality? Erich chuckled and said, "No, Gary, the path of Meher Baba is superior to the path of the infinite aspect of God." Inevitably, Gary persisted. "Oh, come on, Erich, you are not being open-minded. After so many years of being around Baba's body, you have become attached to it. Your attachment biased your opinion and your reply too." Erich, to my surprise, reacted with uncustomary sharpness. "Gary, you don't know what you're saying. The path of Meher Baba's form is superior to all other paths. You would piddle in your pants if you got the experience of infinity or oneness. The path to that experience is full of dangers, and if you get that experience, it will be too much for you. It will cause you too much suffering. You would become like the must who stood on his head all day long. Do you know that story? Musts are God's intoxicated souls who have lost normal consciousness. There was this must who would not put his feet on the floor because he saw God everywhere, and putting his feet on the floor would mean putting feet on God's face. He was considered mad and locked up in an asylum. A Baba lover happened to meet his must and tried to convince him to stand on his feet like everybody else. The must refused, saying, How can I put my feet on God's face? It's blasphemy to do that. I have to stand on my head. There's no other way for me. Erich concluded, you have no idea of the suffering that the experience of oneness with the whole creation can bring. Just thank your stars that Meher Baba has come in our midst to save us the agony of that journey. So hold on to his form. Hold on to him. And that's the section in that piece. And I bring forth a couple of drawings because I have been, of course, I was blessed with some capacity, a gift for portrait, and I have done it for Baba's work, for Baba's pictures. So here's another one. This is one of the pictures that has been taken me almost 2 years to make. It was very, very difficult to make. It had about 9 stages. So it was finished in 1991, and I started in 1988. So it was nearly 3 years in the making. So one more time. This was made with tiny, tiny dots, and the different stages were that I kept taking photocopies of it, and then I would start again. The photocopy would be on A3, so quite big, and then I would reduce it later on because it was easier to make a very good copy on a larger scale. And I will mention that I had a lot of trouble getting the eyes right. And then in the end, Baba Group Elder Anthony Thorpe, because I was in New Zealand at the time, gave me the most valuable advice. He said, it's like Baba is looking up and inwards, but at the same time at you. And in desperation at that time, I cut one eye out, I stuck some paper behind it and redrew the eye. And after that soon came to a stage where I felt that if I was to improve it further, I would have to start all over again. The saturation point was reached. Baba was still up ahead, out of reach, but I was out of breath for now. And then looking back on it, it turned out to be a very, very sweet drawing. And it was rejected for the Meher Baba Australia in the beginning, but then later on it was accepted. Yeah, so really, really nice. And I have one other one that I want to show because it's also especially very, very pure look. This one, I love it so much. So much compassion. The hand was actually copied from my own hand because I wanted him to hold the earth in his hand. It was like a prayer for the earth, which has always been very, very close to my heart for my incarnation on this planet. So, yes, I want to acknowledge here that there are people who feel that to have a God, a picture of God or a picture of the avatar is blasphemy. It is possibly like that for some religions, and I want to completely respect that. But Baba has given us this lots of photos and lots of movies, and it's beautiful to lose yourself in it and to really, really focus on him, like we do sometimes when we have a dearly beloved person that we want to remember. We actually have a photo of them, like the family, the husband, the wife, the mother, the children, to remember how much we love them and to focus on them and send them some love and pray for them in that way. So in that way I don't see any problem with photos from Meher Baba because it reminds us of him. And at one stage with a ceremony with mushrooms, I felt the energy of Christ in my heart, and it was so overwhelming. I just had to throw myself on the earth outside. I could not manage the frequency, it was too high. And I had a friend there, and I said, please send all this energy from my heart to everybody around the place, everybody, everywhere, because I can't support it myself. And this is what he did, and instantly, as he was trying to, he kind of grabbed it with his hands and threw it in his imagination to all directions. And at that very moment, I felt relief. And I think that is why the Christ has to love us. He is pure love. There is no other way he can be. And we need to fully enjoy that and take advantage of it, because that is the gift that was given to all of us. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you very much. God bless you all. And let's, till the next time. Bye.